say if you can. I don't know if anyone here is affected by Hurricane Helene or their families, but not only if you can just commit not only whether it's your time, whether it's your efforts, both volunteering or even your finances to the victims of Hurricane Helene. You know, they're right there in our backyard. I know people not only in Charlotte but Asheville and family members across the way have been affected on my end. So I just want to wish not only prayer, but also any type of commitment y'all can make, that'd be amazing. And that's not just for people in this room, but the people watching. So that's want to say that before we got started.
Grant, we can see how important the city of Charlotte, surrounding areas obviously have been with you since you've come back here. Just kind of talk about your excitement now to have a full season ready to get under your belt with the Charlotte Hornets and what your expectations are heading into the season.
So excited to be here. Like, this is a blessing, just to be able to play in front of family. My grandma's turning 80, or so my grandfather's turning 89 this upcoming month. My grandma's turning 90. So it's a blessing to be able to play in front of them and not have to have them travel. And blessing to be around family and friends. And I'm excited just because not only am I affected personally by the family around me and just the joy that that brings, but just the community here. I know the importance of basketball here in the state of North Carolina. I know the importance of the Charlotte Hornets and the Carolina Panthers because I've been here. And when we're at our best, the city's at its best because not only do the people here have something to go to and really support and love, they're not looking outward. They're not looking for another team, another player. They know that we have everything that we need here. And basketball is huge in this state. It was called the Hoop State for a reason. So it's our job and our duty to make this team the best it could possibly be, as well as the organization. Not only here for each other, but for the fans that watch it. So that's exciting. And then on top of that, the season's outlook, like we have a team going into it healthy. You know, I know the injury recently to, I think it's released Mark, definitely is a little bit, where it happens, but you have to lift your brothers up. That's something that I've always been on teams where when one goes down, another person's there to, pick up for them and support them along the way because, whether it's injury, whether it's being away from the team, that can affect you mentally. So it's our job to be there as a brother, as a friend, more so than even as a teammate, just to let him know that we're here for him, both in his recovery process, but we're here to lock it down going into this upcoming season. So I see this team not only having great success competitively, but also having great success and just making strides every single day, committing to that daily improvement, that daily grind, and focusing in on the things that matter. And that's being there for one another, being there for the city, and really competing at the highest level.
You talk about being there for one another. You've seen a lot of team bonding activities over the offseason. How important has that been to get everyone on the same page as you guys head into camp?
Really special. It's unique. You don't see that normally in the pros. That's something that I haven't really been around or experienced in the 5 years that I've been in the league. So you can tell the organization's commitment to making this team not only better from a personal perspective, but as men, as we grow. And we've been able to share stories, been able to talk about our season outlook, talk about what our roles and what we want to be for this upcoming year look like. And I think that is really, really encouraging because we do have a lot of young players. And as a veteran on the team, it's my job to push them and compete with them because, they want to be special in this league. And same way I looked back to when I was 3 years ago and I was fighting for a contract in Boston and my vets did the same. I remember Al and guys like that really pushing forward and just showing me, whether it's not even through words, just their day-to-day commitment to not only how they take care of their bodies, how they take care of their mental, how they take care of the physical approach coming in every day, shooting after practice, shooting before practice. And that's something that I'm trying to do the same of, use less talk and more action. And it's been really special to be a part of, and I'm super excited to help these guys not only accomplish their dreams in playing, but also accomplish their dreams to get paid for their families. So I'm super excited moving forward.
Grant, obviously you've been on some really good teams in Boston and then Dallas. As far as that championship DNA, do you think this team has kind of the building blocks to work to that level of play?
Yes, we're laying the foundation right now. I think you have to be aspirational, but you also have to be mindful of where you are in the moment. You have to take pride in the fact that, we're the Charlotte Hornets, and you look around, and nobody else motivation or external conversations matter. We have to address who we are first and then push each other forward. Both for the playoffs, that's going to be our first goal. And then as we continue to develop, compete for a championship. Like you have to, set expectations for yourselves that are not only realistic, but meaningful. And I think for us, it's number one most important thing is we better come out every single game and compete with our hardest efforts possible. Because, in years past, people always say, oh, they have a lot of talent, but do they play hard every night? Do they defend? Do they care? And that's something that they shouldn't say about us anymore, is that we care. Do we care? No. They should be saying, oh, dang, who's next? Who are they going to beat next?
Grant, I spoke about this a little bit with Seth earlier. But we've seen a lot of you around town, whether it's FC games, whether it's some other things around town. How much does the offseason allow the two of you to kind of reset the room and say, hey, you know what? We have a particular vested interest in this particularly because we're from here and we know what this can be. We know what this building can sound like. And how much of that kind of is easier to impart now with a reset as opposed to when you got here during the deadline?
All. I've seen it all being from here, like you said. I've seen it flip, and I know what it looks like. I remember when we were the Bobcats and we won 7 wins, and we'd come to games and you look around and you'd have people either not in the building, you'd have people cheering for another team with different jerseys on. I've been on the Celtics where they were cheering for us more than they were cheering for the home team. But I've also seen it where the year before where Steph Curry lit us up for 60 points, and I was at the game with Case Dio sitting courtside for the first time in my life, by the way. With J. Cole sitting behind me, by the way. That was another cool thing. He's the owner now. And I remember watching it, and Steph, I think, had 60, and everybody was cheering for Steph being a hometown kid. The next year, they came back, and Kimball was whooping that tail, and everybody around was looking, oh, the Hornets support. And they really committed to the franchise. And I know that it happens quick. So we just have to do our job as players to really commit to winning. And I know the fans and everybody are going to support us and really show the love.
I know Josh's trade kind of deepened the lineup a bit, and I apologize if this sounds like a silly question, but is being in the starting 5 important for you, or is it just important enough to get your run and know when it's coming?
For me, it's always been, whatever the coach is asking me to do. Every player's dream as a kid is to start, to play games. But I remember back when I was in Boston, Al gave me some great advice. He said, no matter what, man, the number one most important thing is winning. Because when the team's growth is there, no matter if you're starting, no matter if you're playing 5 minutes, no matter what you're doing, everyone takes care of itself. So whatever Charles decides, that's really up to him. He's the head coach for a reason. And I trust him every single day. You never know. It might be Josh starting one night, me starting the next, or even Trey. You never know what could happen. So I just got to come in with the same mentality and approach that no matter what happens, you're just doing whatever it takes for the team to win and willing the team to win. Because, starting is fun, but also closing the game is fun too. So wherever you are, no matter what impact you're making an impact, whether that's even on the bench when you're not in the game, and the voice and the joy and the cheer that you bring, and I'm getting back to that.
Grant, Steve Clifford used to say, you have to have your star players on the floor to win in the NBA. With that said, Lamelo, we all know Hornets are better when he's playing, but from a player perspective, what does he bring that increases, the dynamic around the team, and what does he do when he's on the floor for you guys?
Special talent. He's somebody that, with his playmaking ability, with his pace, he has a way of impacting the game, both on the offensive side of the ball and just really in controlling the entire, Chris Paul, also about Chris Paul controlling the pace of the game. LaMelo does the same, because when you get to running with him, the ball is either going to find you or he's getting a wide open layup. So it's super fun to be able to play with. Now this is my first experience this summer, because prior to that, I think he had been injured when I first got here. So I'm excited because not only he's doing everything every single day. That's something that I feel like people look back in the past and was like, is he really committed? He's committed. He's a guy that I can say really cares and is really focused on the right things. And he's taking every single approach, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's coming to practice, showing up early, showing up late. And I'm motivated and excited to be around him and really compete with him this season.
Grant, last year you played a lot of small ball 5 at times just due to personnel reasons. Do you feel like that could still be an option, and do you feel like you'll have that role even with Mark being healthy here in a couple of weeks?
Hey, you gotta have every arsenal in your toolkit, right? I gotta be prepared for whatever coach asks me to do. You never know. He might throw me out there at 5, might throw me out there 4, he might go super big, throw me at 3. I don't know. But I have to know every single position for a reason, and for me, it's just a matter of being prepared and whatever the matchup is that night. Because we might start basic at first, but you never know. You might see me on Embiid, you might see me guarding point guard. You never know what can happen. But that's the point of having the versatility of the team that we have, and especially guys like myself and Miles being able to use that small ball lineup and be physical, but also not necessarily be the most tall. We have tall guys around us. It's funny that I was talking about the other day. LaMelo's 6'7", Brandon's 6'9", and I'm freaking 6'6", and I'm saying like, yep, I guess I'm a 4 man. But we make it fun, right?